The measurement piece, we're not there yet. So I think that's one of the real opportunities for place, but it's also for the skeptics, and there are those that still there are some that will never invest in place because unless you can quantify it, or until we can quantify it, it's always going to be a bit of a nebulous thing. For me, I think place is, a place is successful when you walk in there and this is going to sound really vague and fluffy, but it just kind of works. I think it's much easier to walk into a place and know that it doesn't work, to know that it does. And I think that, is it working? The perspective of that is different depending on who's viewing that and what their drivers and KPIs are about. So for the retail team, it will be about, well, we've got a great retail mix and we're fully tenanted and those guys are performing well. For the community team, it will be around, we've got some really well-established embedded partnerships that are making this place sort of stand on its own 2 feet, and soon we'll be able to draw back. From a residential perspective, it will be how much are we selling and how quickly. But also, how much are people sort of upgrading within our place? How much do we not having to reinvest in that sales process because the place is driving that referral and, reinforcing purchase decisions? And I think that, from a process point of view, it's successful when it doesn't become an extra process anymore. It's just embedded. So I think, Cultural Centre was the first project, really, the first state government-led project in Perth that was centred around a place approach. And I think now, looking at Cultural Centre sort of 6-7 years on, it needs another shot in the arm. It needs to sort of go to the next level. But I think the success of where it was to where it got to in the sort of first 2 to 3 years of that transformation was that it essentially went from a place that people would not visit for fear and perception of crime and all those sorts of things, through to a place that was not only valued as a destination for you or I to bring our families to and to walk through, but it was a place that cultural organisations, other people wanted to come and invest in and activate as well. And it really, I guess, brought to life the assets that sat around it that had always been there, but no one had really sort of, brought into the fold. And it built some big bridges across government from the perspective of management, funding, a different perspective on how they viewed their assets and that sort of thing. So I think it's still, for Perth, probably the poster child a little bit, and its role in catalysing the investment on William Street is also, I think, still a case study that people come back to time and time again around, when we're all sort of faced with the main street that won't perform and, retail's really challenging, just those fundamentals of curating a really strong vision, enforcing that through a strategic approach to leasing, which means, no, Mr. Leasing Agent, you can't put Michelle's patisserie in, we need this, is, some of those fundamentals transcend, and you see that sort of carrying through now.